Should no longer be called elite. Just say expensive. Which may be why they breed a particular brand of detestable graduate, a personality type that does not emerge from Chico State.
To put it mildly, Bill Maher's fight was magnificent from start to finish and brought it straight to the Ivy League, the epicenter of woke elitism. The man didn't hold back. Ma, who has long warned that America's top colleges have replaced reason with ideology, delivered a biting indictment of these so-called ivory towers. Hold on tight because this one is going to hurt. Let's get started.
Why despising Israel became pretty much a requirement of the American left is colleges, elite colleges, the mouth of the river from which this and all manner of radical left, illiberal, yes, illiberal nonsense flows. Supporting all black, that is, segregated dorms, segregated graduation ceremonies and orientation programs, which occur on hundreds of campuses, is illiberal. So is the racism against Asian.
Maher didn't hesitate for a second. He came out swinging, dropping one truth after another on what he called America's woke institutions, accusing them of driving students apart instead of bringing them together. And he's not wrong. One of America's greatest strengths has always been its diversity. A nation built from countless racial, cultural, and ethnic backgrounds, all united under a single flag. There's a reason it's called the United States. For generations, people have fought, sacrificed, and persevered to create a country where citizens could stand shoulder to shoulder, no matter their skin color or faith. But today, many of the nation's most prestigious universities, the very places meant to nurture future leaders, seem fixated on sorting students into categories of identity and victimhood. Instead of fostering a sense of shared purpose, they're deepening the divide.
When the First Amendment watchdog group Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression began ranking colleges based on their commitment to free speech and inquiry, Harvard came in dead last. There's only one set of acceptable opinions on campus, and it's policed hard. The old dorm room bull sessions, it's less risky shooting the shit in Scientology.
These were supposed to be the places where bold ideas met, where resistance sharpened truth, and where students learned to think critically rather than idly. But somewhere along the line, that noble objective was lost. In the present day, far too many of these alleged repositories of information have become echo chambers for woke ideology. Instead of encouraging independent thought, they suppress it. Instead of promoting dialogue, they punish dissenters. Professors and students are now cautious because they fear that one wrong opinion could lead to their cancellation or expulsion. And if that's how education develops in the future, we're in serious trouble.
Burnell wrote that he who knows only his own side of the case knows little. To which today's college students respond, he and his are cis pronouns. That commit violence against queer and BIPOC communities, so who cares what John Stuart Mill says, whoever he is. Oh, and Thomas Jefferson was a slaveholder. He might have done some other stuff, but it wasn't on the test.
In the past, universities served as a sanctuary for innovative minds, creative problem solvers, and creative thinkers. Many recent graduates, however, lack the critical thinking skills necessary to think critically without first making sure that their opinions align with the dominant narrative in society. Ma observes that because of the obsession with woke ideology, genuine intellectual investigation has been replaced with moral posturing. Instead of studying, questioning, and building, students are being taught to demolish, to eradicate every outdated institution and concept, regardless of its continued relevance or usefulness. Knowing the history is no longer important. The objective is to rewrite it to fit a modern story.
Schools should no longer be called elite. Just say expensive. Which may be why they breed a particular brand of detestable graduate, a personality type that does not emerge from Chico State.
These so-called elite universities, despite charging sky-high tuition, are no longer producing graduates truly prepared for the real world. Sure, the diplomas may look impressive framed on the wall, but if the education behind them is hollow, what's the point? Too many students today are products of an education system watered down by politics, identity posturing, and the endless pursuit of emotional comfort, all at the expense of critical thinking, competence, and resilience. The result? A generation that knows how to debate pronouns, but struggles to navigate the workplace or face real-world adversity. Maher's right. These institutions have drifted far from their original purpose. They were meant to shape innovators and problem solvers, not fragile activists. At this pace, even the most prestigious reputation means nothing if it isn't supported by genuine skill, knowledge, and substance.
Occasionally turn out someone decent, but for every Barack Obama, there are two Josh Hawleys. The former debate team jerk-off who had no friends and no one likes today, and yet somehow manages to win a statewide popularity contest. Box-checking brown-nosers who don't actually believe anything except that tricking stupid people's fun.
When Maher mentioned Senator Josh Hawley's name, the uneasy, hesitant applause that followed said everything without a single word. It exposed that familiar tension that arises whenever politics collides with personal bias. Maher's dislike for Hawley is his right, but disliking someone doesn't make their supporters foolish. People have different values, priorities, and perspectives. Not everyone admires the same leaders, and that's perfectly fine. For some, Hawley is a man of conviction. For others, he's deeply polarizing. The same goes for figures like Obama. Many still regard him as one of the most disappointing presidents in recent memory. That's the beauty and the chaos of democracy. It's noisy, divided, and gloriously diverse. Maher's opinion on Hawley, no matter how harsh or unflattering, is still just that, an opinion. And the fact that he can voice it freely without fear or censorship is exactly what makes free speech so vital. It gives everyone, left, right, or anywhere in between, the right to speak their truth.
Like these men like these, and the kids who signed the Harvard letter have nothing in common. Actually, I think they do. They all came out of an asshole factory. So, to the older folks, I say, college today is not the college you remember. And to the younger people, I say, don't do it. You don't need 4 years and a lifetime of crippling debt to learn to hate America when you can just watch 5 minutes of Selling Sunset.
The elder generation has taught them how to do this. The irony is painful. The same politicians who claim to be fighting for the people are sowing the seeds of hostility and division. People that constantly preach about fighting the so-called billionaires and overturning the system include AOC and Bernie Sanders. However, they are the ones that attend fundraisers, fly first class, and socialize with the wealthy elite. Even worse, they romanticize nations like Iran, Saudi Arabia, Palestine, and Iraq, countries that have a long history of committing human rights abuses while disparaging the nation that gives them the freedom to protest, free speech, and political engagement. Instead of teaching gratitude for American opportunity, they are teaching the next generation to despise it.
Parents have 300 grand they absolutely need to flush down the toilet, put it in crypto, or buy a van, go to a national park and feed yourself to a bear. Because any legacy dipshit can go to Penn, but a bear, that's hard to do.
Today's liberal movement treats higher education as more than just a place to learn. It sees it as a powerful instrument, a supposed cure-all for society's problems. And that's exactly why the modern progressive left has set its sights on universities. They believe college campuses are the perfect breeding ground for their ideas. Education at this point isn't just about knowledge. It's about influence and authority. By controlling what's taught and how it's presented, they can shape how young people think, feel, and eventually vote. The constant flow of ideological lectures, rewritten history, and identity-driven debates isn't random. It's deliberate. It's a long-term strategy. They know that today's students are tomorrow's leaders, voters, and cultural voices. If they can mold them early, they can steer society's direction for generations. The real objective isn't open dialogue or independent thought. It's persuasion disguised as education, a subtle effort to guide those still figuring out what to believe.
The family's plan asks the taxpayers to pony up hundreds of billions so that everyone can go to college, and billions more or subsidized childcare so our kids can go to school while we go to school. The theory being that all this education trickles down and eventually gets to Florida. Now, the right is calling Biden's plan social engineering, which is over the top, but Biden's plan is an endorsement of a particular idea, that the more time humans spend in classrooms staring at blackboards, the better. Liberals see more school the way Republicans see tax cuts, as the answer to everything. College is the way to fight income inequality, but actually it does the reverse. If you have a bachelor's degree, you make about 65% more than someone who doesn't. And with a master's degree, it's more like 100% more. And the unemployment rate of college grads is about half what it is for high school grads. I know free college is a left-wing thing, but is it really liberal for someone who doesn't go to college and makes less money to pay for people who do go and make more?
At first glance, the left's push for free college sounds admirable, and after all, who wouldn't want affordable education for everyone? But when you look closer, the real motive becomes clearer. The fight isn't just about access, it's about influence. If college were free, it would funnel even more students into institutions already dominated by progressive ideology, where education often serves as a cover for political messaging. It's not really about helping students succeed, it's about expanding reach. Free college would guarantee a constant influx of impressionable young minds eager to learn but quietly molded to adopt a specific worldview and vote a certain way. In essence, it's a long-term investment in shaping thought, and the left understands that perfectly. What appears to be compassion is often strategy in disguise. That's why Maher's critique of woke academia struck such a chord. Our education system, once built to nurture curiosity and independent thinking, is slowly being replaced by echo chambers that reward conformity over creativity. Still, there's reason to hope. If more voices like Maher's continue to expose the hypocrisy and call for balance, maybe we can bring universities back to their true mission, to enlighten, not indoctrinate. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more thought-provoking discussions ahead. Thanks for watching. See you next time.